afternoon, everybody. How are you? My name's Iris Smith, and I'm the owner of a small business called The Flower Patch, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend, guys. A very long Easter weekend. I've got Benji here again. Benji, come on your bed. Come on your bed. Good boy. I did, well, I went to see my mum at the weekend. Drove quite a long way to get there, and yeah, it was wonderful to see her. We had a great big chat and catch up. And then Sunday, it was my son's birthday on Easter Day. So we had a good time then. And then yesterday, it's a public in the UK, a public holiday where people have off of work. So I'm back today. So today I'm going to do a wreath because I went yesterday with my husband. We went to a garden centre. There was a garden centre open. So we decided to go there. And they had some artificial flowers in there. I only bought one sort, but I've been hunting for these for a while. I've seen some, but I wanted the most realistic ones. They weren't cheap, guys. They really wasn't cheap. But I got them. I only got 5 stems, but I got them. So we're going to do a wreath. It's only on a 12-inch wreath. I've prepared a bow, which is in green and sage green. It's got foliage on print on the white one, where I've done 8-inch loops, tail ends here, and I've done 16-inch tail ends at the bottom. I've got 6-inch, 5.5-inch, 5-inch, 4.5-inch, and then a 4-inch in the centre. So that's a loop. It is quite big actually for the 12-inch grapevine wreath. So because it looks quite big, I've decided I may place it on its side, so it's coming here. But you know me, guys. By the time I've got everything in, it will fit in it, and blend in perfect. So we've got that. Now I've semi-prepared because Benji spotted my baby, my Marley, and he wouldn't stop barking. So, I've had to calm him down. Molly's decided he wants to go in the house. So I've had to have a little word with Benji and told him that that's my baby. He comes first. So we've had to make sure that my baby's all right. So anyway, as I was semi-preparing, I started cutting down some shakibi spray leaves, because I want to use these as filler foliage with them being dark as well, and quite, it's a solid leaf and they're quite broad, so I wanted some of those. And with the bow being quite light, I've got out 2 different ferns in here. I've got out the one I used the other day where it's got several on, and then I've just got single ones on at a different tone to, I don't know if you can see, I spoke to that one here. So one's a bit more of a forest green, the other one's more of a sage green. So we've got that as well. I've cut down, with it being light, some of my tradescantia leaves as well. There was only 4 stems left on one of the bunches, so I decided to just cut those and use those. I have got out, I've only got 5 out. I only want 5 stems of my wispy, as you know, lavender. I had to think then. So I've got those. Now I have got out beautiful Veronica. I love Veronica, salvia, anything like that. I just love the shape of it. I think it is exquisite. So we've got some white Veronica out. I've also got out, which I've not cut, I don't know why I grabbed all these, but some Hypericum. I decided let's get some hypericum in. Again, that's all you get on one stem, just 3 separate sprigs. So I've decided to get those. Some of them have got a bit of a darker red touch to them on the berries. So I thought we'd have those. I've also got out some of this oak cork leaf, which I placed before we started the video, some on single picks, because I didn't want the full bush of it, so I placed them on single picks to place, you know, around in different places. I've also cut down off the big bunch some emerald green roses. Now, aren't they divine? Green being my favourite colour. I just love these. So we've got those. And then I thought, let's get some wispy bits, some more wispy bits. So I've got out my mini rose bush here for our wispy bits in white with yellow in the centre. So I've got 2 bunches of those. I don't know how many I'm going to need, so I didn't cut these down. And finally, this is what I got from the garden centre, Rudbeckia. Oh, I love Rudbeckia. And isn't that realistic? They didn't have it in the yellow, but I like the white. It's, you know, being neutral. It's got yellow in the centre, and it is so realistic. Now, these were in English money £5 for one, and you get 5 flowers on, so it's like £1 for each flower. So that's probably about $2 to $3 for one stem or flower. So it isn't cheap. So this probably would be about $9, something like that, just for that on its own. So yes, but don't they look fabulous? When people ask me what sort of floral do I tend to, I've had a few people ask me, do I tend to like to use when I'm doing my well, anything really, my work. And I've replied, I like to try and get the florals and the foliage that are more realistic to life, to the, I view what you would find in your garden or anything like that. I prefer that. It's just my, well, my taste, I guess, as they say. But, I prefer of a more natural look. So once I found these when we went, that was it. They didn't have any more. There was 5 left, so I grabbed the last 5. So now I know where I could get them from. I may go back and get some more when they have more in stock. Again, it is quite an expensive floral. So I'm going to bring the camera down. I am expecting, sorry guys, my apologies, before a delivery. So you may hear Benji bark, but it can't be helped. This is a weekly delivery I have, and it always comes on a Tuesday, but I never know what time. So my apologies. So anyway, let's get started. Let's make something beautiful, and let's see how big it turns out on just a 12-inch grapevine. So let me just turn the camera down. There he is. So let me bring it forward. It's a better position this, where now I can see more, get a bit closer. I won't bring it to, closer than that, otherwise you won't see it all. So we're going to start with our fern and our cork oak leaf or oak cork leaf, one or the other. So I may, do I put in, I'm going to put in this first. I don't know how many I'm going to need. I'm just going to place some in and around. I hope you all had a nice Easter hunt, you know, hunting around for Easters with your kiddies or grandchildren, or a nice family get together. Let's just place these in, going around on the outer side. We may bring some on the inside as well. Right, I can hear something in the background. It's a nice, lovely light colour, this foliage, to go with the light colours that I am using. And again, as you're looking at it, from there's 12 o'clock and there's 6 o'clock. I work on the left side when I do arrangements. So from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock to 6, when you're doing a half of a crescent shape. I want to get them relatively similar spacing between each other. I don't want them, you know, too far apart from each other. I did cut quite a lot off just to be on the safe side. Then I'm going to bring the last one on there. And I'm going to get a few more and I'm going to bring them inwards. I'm going to do the stems slightly shorter. And I'm going to bring them slightly shorter in length as well. Because we've got our lovely fern, and I may bring some fern on the top. With it being airy, you can see through it. So I don't mind the fern, you know, being on top. I don't place a lot so it covers everything. But again, with it being airy, you see through it. It's a lovely colour. And already it's starting to look quite, you know, big. So for the 12-inch wreath, I think the way I'm placing the foliage makes it look much bigger. So the bow then will not look out of place. Excuse me. I'll save these last three because I may bring those in the centre here. Or in fact, do I place them in now? Yeah, let's get them in now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring one around here. I'm just going to slightly bend it inwards towards the centre of the wreath. Let's cut these two as well. And then bring that one slightly inwards as well. And then this one near the top. So we have it like that. So when we place on our bow, it doesn't look, and the colour green on the ribbon blends in fabulous. It doesn't look too out of place now because of how I've created our, you know, our perimeter or our boundary or our line around this, you know, the edge. So I want to place in some of our fern. I've got some on single picks. Where's the single picks? That's the darker green on single picks. And then I've got the sage green. So you know, I may place these on top once we've finished and the florals in, just as, you know, with it being airy. These are a bit more compact, you know, the spacing is more closer together. So I will place these on the bottom. So let's just try and get, again, I've not cut these or put picks on these because I wasn't sure if I'd wanted them in full. I've just cut them off the stem. So as you can see, there's 5 leaves on this one stem. I just want to see, I may have to cut them down. I may not need all of these, guys. Let's just have a look. I cut one down and then place one maybe in the center here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I've got 2 smaller ones. Keep 2 long, slightly longer, and you can turn these around because they have got a front and a back, the leaves. So just, you know, manipulate them and twist them around. That one doesn't feel a bit very strong, so I'm going to put a bit of glue on just to hold that one in place. So I'm going to bring where this one basically is sitting around here. So I will place it there. I will let one, you know, hang in the center like this leaf here. You don't just want that leaf by itself. Two bits. And then do the same thing with these. Again, I don't want it too far down. So let's just give it a bit of lift and a bit of volume. And then I've cut one in half, and I'm going to bring these two pieces just here. Let's turn the leaves. And then this one. Let's get it around here. As well. So now we've got, let's just incorporate that. And again, you can bring some of your leaves through if you wish, you know, even just to incorporate it. So it looks like it's all, you know, moving within each other. I'll save these ones. I don't want any more of those. That's plenty. Put those there. I'm going to use this tradescantia again, with it being light, a different shaped leaf, just to add that little bit extra contrast against the others, and, you know, make it look nice and pretty. It's got a little hint of pink in it. That in there, and I'm going to bring one here and then one here. Oh, I'm going for my injection today, guys, on my arm. Everybody's wishing me luck, saying, oh, it hurts. I'm not scared of injections or needles. Oops, wrong way round. Put that there. So that is now quite fluffy already with the foliage. If I need any more foliage around the sides, you know, then I'll add some. But I have got the Veronica, what will be going around the sides, and also our roses. I do want to just get these in, so let's cut these down. And again, I'm just going to place in, again, just for movement. Having them sticking up again to create that volume. Oops, I've got one stuck to it. Bring one there. I bend that one slightly here, and then I can bring another one in here. And have that one there for a bit of volume as well. So that's what we've got so far. Let's see if anything's come through. Nope. Wonderful. I want to add in, oops, daisy, the bow before we carry on. Some people like to add in their bow at the beginning, some people right at the end. I preferably tend to like to add it in either in the middle or at the end of doing the arrangement. So I've just placed my weaving needle on so it's easier to pop through. And again, I want it slightly sideways on, so, and I want it near the top. So I've just done that with one piece of wire. Grab the other piece of wire, do them individually, and place it in another area, not in the same, because you want your wire to be able to wrap around some of your wreath to hold it in. So that's there. So before I attach it, I'm just going to position it. Let's just look from this side. I'm going to just weave my tail ends through the foliage. I do like to see that. Sometimes I have it on top, sometimes I incorporate the foliage because I want it to look as all, you know, as one. So I'm going to have it there. So I'm going to just twist at the back. Again, about an inch. And get my flat nose pliers, and then just bend the wire over and push it in. I tend to like to use these to give it a deeper push, so I know for definite it's not going to scratch. So that's our bow with the tail ends coming down at an angle. I didn't want them straight down. Again, you can curl them. I think maybe today I want them just hanging down at that diagonal position to fill in this area. So, excuse me. So that's that. Let's get some of our Veronica in. Oh, it's still with the raffia wrapped around it. You only get 3 stems in these, so let's cut the raffia. Again, I'm not sure how many I want. So we're going to bring these up on the outer side as well. So I'm just lifting it. Oops, a daisy. And I want them like that. So they're incorporated within our foliage at the top. So you just see the bit of the white popping through. And I just like to do that with them. Let me just place one at the bottom. So what I do at the top, I do at the bottom. Like so. I may just put 3 in, guys. I'm going to cut this one a little shorter because we've got our Rudbeckia as well. And I have this one around the middle. I may need to cut that shorter even so and place that in. So let's just see. So we've got that one there, also in the middle. So we'll just use 3. Put the band back on. Now we've got our Hypericum. I may bring that on the inside or I may bring it on the out. I'm not sure. Right, let's get our roses in, our lovely deep emerald green roses. Again, I've cut these down off the big bunch. Now, I'd like one maybe there. One on that end. I've taken 5 off. There. Maybe one here. And then one just there. Let's have a look with our Rudbeckia. Oh, aren't they beautiful? So I'm going to place 5 in around that sort of a position. So we've got one at each end. I always prefer to see them at each end because if people are looking from them from the side, you know, at a side angle, you'd like to add in a bit of floral on on the ends as well. So they can see whatever's here, or should I say whatever's on here is also on the end. So it looks complete and it looks balanced and pleasing to the eye. So I may have to cut, or do I? No, let me just put more of an angle because I haven't cut these very good. I'm going to go under the ribbon or the bow. Place that one just like that on the end here. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Let's cut those. very tight, this grapevine. Sometimes I get them where they're very loose, sometimes where they're very tight. But we work with it. So we've got that one there. Let's get all the glue off. So we've got that one on the end there. I'm considering bringing these smaller, so I may take the leaf off and cut them shorter and use the leaf as perhaps some foliage. What's that? And bring those in here. We'll see how it sits when I place it. Oh, that's nice. I like how that sits. And then this one, we'll take the leaf off of that. Just save all your leaves and everything. If you're taking them off of your stem, you use them for filler foliage, which will save on a lot of, you know, money from spending or using fresh stems of foliage. Let's just make sure that one's in. No, it's not in. We'll go. So that's. So we've got now in our emerald green. I'm going to just place these rose leaves on picks. So then I can use those in the arrangement as well. So I may bring those outside. Let's just cut. Bring one up here, right near the top, just where this rose, well, I say right near the top, just where that rose is, this one. I've got glue all over my fingers. And then I'll bring the other one down here. Somewhere in, you know, approximately where the rose is. Like so. So that is those. Now our roses on the outer side. So as soon as we start adding in our lovely white, this is when it all comes alive. So I'm taking off all the 5. I may not need the other bunch actually. And I'm going to bring one up here with the green rose. So it's got something to bounce off in, you know, concerning the lighter shade. So we've got it like that. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm going to bring them quite close actually, so I may use the other bunch. And I'm not cutting these short because I need, you know, I'd like the length of the stem for the wispy, so it can be seen on the back. So they're probably about 6 to 8 inches apart from each other. I'm just taking them round, so I'm going to use probably 2 more. Or maybe 1. Maybe 1, guys. Yeah, just 1. So we'll place these together. I've got a bit of glue. That's that. Let's have a look at our Rudbeckia. Now I am going to cut these down. I'll keep them at the length they are on the stem to start with. So, oops. I want to bring these like in between the roses. So you've got to make the triangular position. And I want to bring those on top. I don't want them around the side. So let's start here. So I'm going to cut these down. So it's basically like I'm putting them on like level or layer 2, level 1 or level 2. I can't see. Bring some of the greenery through. So I want to bring them sort of like there. So we've got a triangle. So then I use this one here from this triangle and that one to place my next one in. Just place that there. So I'm going to do this all the way. So I'm going to use this one now from this triangle and that one to place this one in here. Just lift it up. we'll sort the ribbon out, or the bow. And the next one here. And now I'm going to put this around this area again, just to form that triangle. And I've got the one left. I don't want to place that there because I haven't got one on the end here. So I'm going to form the triangle on the side, in the centre, around here. So, around here. So I'll have that one, just one of them on the outer side. Now that's just not sitting flush enough. So let me put some more glue on it. Place it slightly higher up. Oops, a daisy. Get the glue. So now we've got our lovely Rudbeckia in as well. So I don't need the other one. And again, with the fern, as I was stating that I want to place it on the top, I just, you know, I like to see it just floating above, you know, and because this one has got, you know, much wider space in between the leaves. It's more airy than the other one, so you will see through it. So before I do that, let's have a look at our Hypericum and see if we need any of that. We may not even need the Hypericum, guys. Let's put in some of our shakibi foliage for our filler. I've cut different lengths. I may have to cut some down a bit more. With it being a dark emerald green, like the roses against the light green, it will blend in really nice. So let me just start placing just little bits against it. I'm just going to go around. See if I've got a smaller piece. Yeah. And place this one under the bow because I want something, you know, some foliage incorporated in our bow. I may have to cut them all down. I'm going to cut them just so I've got like 2 leaves. It's going to be very hard because the stems are not very long, but we'll work with it. And then we'll do that one as well. So by placing foliage underneath your loops of your bow, that will help give your bow, you know, will make it stand upright. So you know, instead of going flat. Like so. I may just bring that longer stem one around here. I'm going to put a piece on each end, just here. Again, so I'll, looks like we've, you know, added foliage at the bottom to finish what we're doing. So it just doesn't look like we've just cut it off and there's nothing. There again, because we've got the lighter green, we may actually, I may bring a Rudbeckia on the inside as well, because it's a lot of just green on the inside. So let me just, yeah, just chop one off. And we'll bring that just on the inside here. So let's cut it a little bit shorter. Oops. Just to give that white in the centre as well, coming towards the inner centre. See, I could place these on picks because I don't really need any more, apart from maybe there. So I've placed these on picks and placed them around the outer side. I think Benji's getting a bit restless. So I'll just put them on single picks. Bring the foliage, what we've got in the centre on the outside, fill in a few gaps with it as well. Got glue. I've got glue stuck to me. I do wipe the glue off at the top of the pick. As I push in the pick, it seeps out some of it, so I do wipe it. There we go. So we can put now these, just cut a little bit off of them. There we have it. Right, so let's just place some of these now on the outer side, as you can see here, against the lighter foliage, just to set that off. I don't feel that's... There we go. I'm just lifting it up as I go round. Oh, I've lost this one here that I haven't done. Always mix your tones of your, you know, if you've got like your greenery, you know, try to use different tones that will, you know, bring it alive, that you know, bounce off of each other, you know, lighter with the darker tone, just to add that little extra. Turn that one around. Bring this one up here as well. So we've added in some of our shakibi around the outside. Now again, with our fern, I wanted to just bring the odd one. I may just use 3, have one here, one here, one here. I don't know about there, we'll see. So because they're long, I don't want them extremely long, so I'm going to just move the ribbon and have it just sitting above there, so it's not in the way of anything, it's not in the way of the Rudbeckia. So and I'm going to do one same down here as well. Just slightly lift that. As well. And then I'm going to bring one this side also. So I'm only going to use 3 of them. And then I'm going to bring one in the center, coming outwards. can get it in. Can't seem to find. There we go. Now we've done, let me just see if anything's popping out. Oh, I've got one what's slightly coming out, so let's just cut that deeper so it doesn't affect anything. And a little one here, barely, but I'd rather get it off. So that's how we've got those. Now, I usually like to see a little bit more around here, so I don't know whether to just add in a bit of hypericum. I don't want none there, it's just around the bow. In the center, I've got a bit of the leaf as well, so we may as well use that. Let's place that one under there, so that gets used. Right, so I'm not going to use any of the hypericum apart from that piece, but other than that, that's our project, I think, finished for today, guys. Let me just hold it up. Yeah, it doesn't need anything else. No, that's nice. I like that. So let's just sort our ribbon out. Let that just hang freely. So I'm going to put that on the easel. One minute, guys, I think somebody's here, my delivery. There we go. Yes, it was a parcel, guys, for me. Right. So there, I've placed it on the easel before I press the record button again. But there's our lovely 12-inch grapevine wreath made, and you know, it comes out much bigger, just with greens and whites. Such an elegant colour, really pretty. By adding in our beautiful, of course, Rudbeckia, love it. Our Veronica, our mini rose spray, our green spiky lavender, and then we've got our oak cork leaf, our shakibi leaf, we've got our fern in this colour sage, and also another fern, our tradescantia foliage as well, all in different tones, just so it, you know, it looks more pleasing to the eye, and, you know, gives it that lovely look, and subtle as well. It's not all dark and dull with it being greens. You know, some people think greens are a dull colour because they're so dark, but you can get wonderful shades and tones of green. And, you know, just with a sage green ribbon as well, or bow, not dark either, you know, just to blend in with the foliage. And then you've got your, just that little hypericum piece in the centre as well, which looks really pretty. And I think that that is absolutely really, really nice. And again, and if you've taken some leaves off of things, don't throw them away. Place them on picks. Add them in as a bit of filler foliage, just so you don't, you know, it doesn't go to waste. And then you've got your rich, deep emerald green roses, which are beautiful. And I think that that makes a with the Rudbeckia, the rich green looks fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. And if you haven't got the Rudbeckia, or if they use daisies, you know, they will look just as beautiful. And some green roses. You know, if you haven't got green roses and you don't want to do it in greens and whites, and you'd prefer, you know, for example, you want to do it in blues and whites, then use the daisies with a deep, rich blue navy rose, or, you know, any floral like that that you may have, with some lighter and darker tones of foliage. And just add a little bit of white around the edge, again, to bring that foliage alive as well. When I do arrangements, I bring white in the centre as well as on the outside if I'm using white, because it brings, you're not just bringing the inside alive, you need to bring up the edge, around the edge alive as well. So it lifts it and gives it that brightness and that lovely, pretty look. So again, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Please give it a go. It's a wonderful thing to do, you know, and you know, you don't have to go and use these big wreaths. You could just do it on a 10-inch grapevine wreath, or maybe on a spruce wreath if you have them, or a rattan wreath or wicker. It's entirely your choice. You know, whatever you work best with. I work best with grapevine wreaths. My friend, she works best with spruce wreaths. So it's just whatever you feel most comfortable with. So anyway, please subscribe, share and like. To everybody who you know, guys, to the world, to whomever is by your side, bring them along to come and have some fun, just to so it may inspire them to give it a go themselves, or maybe they just want to watch because there's nothing else on telly. So why not watch somebody make some beautiful arrangements? I do. I don't watch normal telly. It's very rare. I'm always on YouTube watching people do creations, and I love it. So have a great day, guys. Again, I've got my injection in my arm today, so apparently it may be sore or hurt for a couple of days, but hey ho, as long as it helps me, I'm all right. So have a great day, guys. I love you all. Keep your comments coming. I do love to, you know, reply, and I always will reply to each and everybody who's sent a message. It may not be straight away, it may be a day after or so, but I do always reply. So have a great day, guys. I'm going to take little Benj for I'd not say it out loud because he'll get excited, but a WALK, and just so you know, he can get another bit of fresh air. He's already been for one walk today, but it doesn't hurt, does it? So have a great day. I love you all, guys. God bless and take care. Bye for now. Bye-bye. So let's just have a close-up. He's got a bit closer, Benji. Right, so let's go for the close-up. So there are our Rudbeckias, guys. Aren't they fabulous? Our little hypericum and our beautiful emerald green roses with our fern on top. Again, that's another thing, guys. You don't always have to place fern on the bottom. And then our sage coloured fern there. Our tradescantia with our little mini roses. Our Veronica. Our shakibi leaf. our corks, oak leaf, our spiky lavender. I can't think of anything else. And obviously our beautiful bow with a bit of foliage on in a lovely sage green colour. So again, I hope you all enjoyed that, guys. And you're going to give it a go and make something look so beautiful. And this could be for spring, summer, and even autumn if you like. Well, take care. Have a fabulous day. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.